in June 8, Napoleon Bonaparte faced one of the most dangerous days of his career after crossing the frozen Alps into northern Italy. He had conquered every enemy in his path, spreading his forces across the region in a daring strategy. But near the town of Marengo, everything was about to go wrong. A detachment of French soldiers unexpectedly faced 30,000 Austrian troops, outnumbered and exhausted. The French army teetered on the edge of disaster. Napoleon himself realized the stakes. A defeat here could shatter his authority and undo months of brilliant maneuvering. Yet, even in the face of overwhelming odds, history was about to witness a remarkable twist. Could Napoleon turn near certain defeat into one of his most legendary victories? This is the story of the Battle of Marengo, a tale of strategy, courage, and a comeback that changed Europe forever. The year 1800 found Europe in turmoil. Napoleon had seized power in France and sought to solidify his position by demonstrating military supremacy. Northern Italy had become a battlefield for the French and Austrian forces, and control over this region was crucial. Napoleon devised a bold plan to cross the Alps with his army, surprise the Austrians, and reclaim lost territories. The march was treacherous, filled with snow, steep cliffs, and exhaustion. Soldiers struggled to carry cannons across narrow mountain paths, and the supply lines were stretched thin. Yet Napoleon's audacity paid off. By the time the French descended into the Po Valley, the Austrian commanders believed the French would not pose an immediate threat. Confident, they advanced, unaware that Napoleon's brilliance and determination were about to collide with their miscalculations on the fields near Marengo. Confident in his strategy, Napoleon spread his troops to encircle the Austrian forces, aiming to cut off their retreat. He believed he had anticipated every move of the enemy, but intelligence failed him. As the French advanced near Marengo, they encountered an unexpected force. 30,000 Austrian soldiers, well prepared and heavily armed. Outnumbered, the French units struggled to maintain formation. Chaos rippled through the ranks. Cannons roared, cavalry charged, and infantry clashed in smoke-filled fields. Napoleon's strategic gamble teetered dangerously on the edge of disaster. Each decision now carried immense risk. A single misstep could unravel the campaign entirely. The sun beat down relentlessly, adding fatigue to fear, and the battlefield became a crucible testing the courage, discipline, and resilience of the French army. At this moment, victory seemed impossibly distant. By late morning, the French forces were struggling. Austrian artillery cut through the French lines, and their cavalry charged with terrifying precision. Panic spread among soldiers. Some faltered. Others retreated under relentless pressure. Napoleon moved along the front, rallying men and issuing orders. Yet even he could sense the precariousness of the situation. The French were being pushed back, and the possibility of total defeat loomed over Marengo. Desperate attempts to hold strategic positions created chaotic skirmishes across the battlefield. Smoke and dust obscured the sun, turning the field into a haze of confusion and fear. Amid the turmoil, the emperor understood that survival hinged not on brute force, but on timing, cunning, and the arrival of reinforcements that could restore hope to his embattled army. The day teetered on the edge of catastrophe. As noon approached, the French position became increasingly perilous. Austrian infantry pressed forward relentlessly, capturing key ground and threatening to encircle Napoleon's men. Casualties mounted on both sides, and morale waned under the scorching Italian sun. Napoleon's calculated risk of splitting his forces now seemed dangerously close to back. Every French unit fought desperately, but exhaustion and dwindling ammunition took their toll. Commanders signaled frantically for reinforcements that had not yet arrived. For a moment, the battle seemed lost, and whispers of defeat rippled through the ranks. Yet, Napoleon's calm determination and unwavering presence on the front lines inspired those who still stood. The emperor knew that the tide could still turn, but it depended on timing, courage, and a single decisive action to regain momentum. Just when hope seemed lost, distant drumbeats signaled a new arrival. General Desaix had brought fresh troops across the fields of Marengo, their presence like a lifeline thrown into chaos. Napoleon seized the moment, reorganizing battered units to prepare a counter. The morale of the French surged as Desaix's men joined the fight, reinvigorating weary soldiers with new strength and determination. Austrian forces, confident just moments before, now faced unexpected resistance. Napoleon's strategic genius revealed itself as he repositioned artillery and coordinated a precise strike. The battlefield shifted, tension replaced by anticipation. What had seemed an inevitable French defeat was now a delicate, reversible scenario. History's gaze turned to Marengo, where timing, courage, and reinforcements were about to script one of Napoleon's most dramatic comebacks. With renewed energy, the French launched a coordinated Desaix led infantry through smoke and chaos, striking at the heart of the Austrian lines. Cavalry units charged with impeccable timing, creating openings for artillery to wreak havoc. Austrian soldiers, previously dominant, began to falter under relentless pressure. Napoleon, positioned at the center, orchestrated the movements with precision, exploiting every weakness in the enemy's formation. Panic replaced confidence among Austrian ranks as French momentum grew unstoppable. Slowly but surely, the tide of battle shifted. By late afternoon, the Austrians were retreating, their initial advantage erased. The miracle of Marengo unfolded not through brute force alone, but through strategy, leadership, and the perfect convergence of opportunity and timing. As the sun set over the fields of Marengo, victory belonged to Napoleon. The French army, once on the brink of annihilation, had reclaimed the battlefield. Austrian forces were in full retreat, leaving behind cannons, supplies, and the illusion of invincibility. Napoleon's near defeat had transformed into one of his most legendary triumphs, demonstrating his unparalleled tactical brilliance. Soldiers celebrated cautiously, aware that history had witnessed something extraordinary. News of the victory would travel quickly, solidifying Napoleon's reputation as a military genius capable of turning disaster into triumph. Marengo was more than a battle. It was a resurrection of hope, a testament to leadership under extreme adversity, and a symbol of the unwavering resolve that defined Napoleon's era. The Battle of Marengo reshaped the political and military landscape of Europe. Napoleon's victory secured northern Italy and strengthened his position as first consul of France. It demonstrated the importance of adaptability, timing, and audacity in warfare, showing that even the most desperate circumstances could be reversed with decisive action. Generals and historians would study Marengo for decades, recognizing it as a masterclass in command, morale management, and battlefield psychology. Beyond strategy, the battle highlighted the human dimension of war, courage, sacrifice, and resilience. For Napoleon, Marengo was not only a military achievement, but a defining moment that cemented his legacy as one of history's greatest commanders, capable of turning a near defeat into an enduring triumph that would echo through centuries. Marengo remains one of the most compelling examples of military genius in history. Napoleon's ability to inspire his men, anticipate the enemy, and leverage reinforcements transformed a day of near disaster into a defining victory. It reminds us that even in the darkest moments, leadership, strategy, and courage can alter the course of history. If you enjoyed this story of strategy, resilience, and one of Napoleon's greatest comebacks, subscribe for more tales from the battlefields that shaped our world. From Alps to Marengo, history never forgets those who turn the impossible into legend.